Hi there, welcome back to InsideTracks.co.uk, the website and YouTube channel that tries to help you trade smarter. Please subscribe if you want to get more videos in the future, and like it if you do, or comment, and hopefully I'll get better as a result. Also, you can sign up to our free newsletter at InsideTracks.co.uk. Gives you some hints, tips, and other things with absolutely free. So today I'm going to look at what the right sized trading bank is and the bet size for you. Now that's quite important. You are the variable in this. What can be the right size bank for one person is not for another. However, what I'm going to look at is looking at probably newer people into trading, and we're going to look at, can I make money on a small bank? Of course, it depends what you want and what sort of person you are, but we will go through now what exactly we can do with a small bank and what size it should be. So, bankroll size. What's the right size trading bankroll for you? Well, it very, very much depends on how experienced you are and have you developed a winning strategy. Now, this is key. If you have not developed a winning strategy yet, then you are not ready to start making significant investments into your trading career. What you need to do is get yourself that winning strategy. The second question is, what can you afford to lose? Traders lose. Fact of life. Every trader does not win. It's not a one-way street, and you have to accept that there will be days or weeks when you simply won't win and you will lose, and that is money that you cannot afford to lose. Then don't do this. What returns are you looking for? Is this something that you want as to buying a few nice luxuries each month, bit of extra on top? Or are you looking for this to be a supplement to your income? Or are you looking for perhaps, and I would hope not, looking at this as a way of making money to keep yourself in body and soul together? Because if you're looking at keeping body and soul together from trading, then I hope you would not be looking at this video. You'd be far too experienced and know exactly what you're doing and have at least 2 years part-time trading and trading under your belt, and you'd know much more than probably even I do. And how much time do you have? Is this going to be a couple of hours a day, a half an hour a day, or is it going to be more than that? So these are the things you need to ask yourself when you're coming into this. Funding a bankroll. Well, if you're a newbie, if you're new to this, you may well also be new to online bookmakers. They have very generous free bet offers, and you can certainly make and turn those free bet offers into at least £250 cash. It will take a bit of time, but it's worth the effort. It doesn't take a huge amount of time, actually. It's well worth the effort. You can get info and a free trial at the website. Use money you can afford to lose, which I've said before, and a minimum bankroll is about £500. So do go and get that £250 from the bookies if you can, if you're starting out. So how experienced are you, and have you developed a winning strategy? If you haven't developed a winning strategy, you must find out what strategy you want to follow, and you must then develop your skills in that strategy. Now, everybody's different, and I have explained on a YouTube video what sort of strategies are available, and who I think it suits, whether it's an experienced trader or a new trader. And so you can watch that video and start thinking which one is going to be for me. But when you have thought about what is the strategy you feel most comfortable with, suits your skills, suits your timings, suits other things that you will know only but for yourself, then you need to start practicing that, and practice it for pennies. And a winning strategy is only one you've documented and proved, and I'll come back to that later in this video. So I've told you you need to invest in your trading bank only what you can afford to lose, because every trader loses. It's a fact. It's a fact. Anybody who tells you differently is a liar. However, the following basic rules will help you to reduce your risk. So, first one is sensible staking. See, and I'll talk about sensible staking later on. The second one is don't chase losses and up your stakes. Stick to your guns. If you are losing, if you're making losses in the day, for goodness sakes, quit. Say, that's it. I'm not having a good day. Stop. Don't chase them. Don't up your stakes. There's someone who said, some person on YouTube the other day saying, well, keep doubling your stakes, and at some point you'll win and then you'll make money. It's bollocks. You'll lose your whole bank that way. Okay, the strategy you follow must deliver bigger profits than the chances of losing. Okay, that is only sensible. That's the only way you are going to make money trading on Betfair. So this is what you need to do when you're looking at your strategy: is can I get more money from each time I'm successful at my strategy than I'm going to lose every time I'm not successful at my strategy? And I'll come to that again later. Be very selective by limiting the number of trades you do. Have some set criteria. How do you go about your trading strategy? What works, what doesn't, and then stick to them. Don't go outside of them. Don't decide, oh, I like the look of this, quick, bung 50 quid on, and then just lose it like that. Be the expert in what you do by developing an edge. You need an edge. I do back to lays. I therefore have a lot of research into courses that suit front runners, for instance, draw a bias and other things, okay, that I know that I have a lot of information about. And when I'm looking for my back to lay selections, I will have done my research and I will have an edge on other people who are betting on that market. So do your research, ask questions, ask me, ask others. There's lots of people on the internet, on YouTube, some great people out there. Ask them questions. Say, what about this, and how does that work, and how do you do this, and what tools do you use that for this? And use the tools available, particularly the free ones. Okay, if you're only doing half an hour a day, you don't need to pay for the tools. But if you want to go seriously into scalping, then you'll probably need the software in there. But you might well have to pay for it. But look for the free stuff. Don't pay for it unless you can see a return on your investment. And finally, patience is the key. Okay, if you lose 10% of your bankroll today, be patient. Stop, come back tomorrow, make it back, over the next few days, whatever. But don't chase. Don't try and make your money in one day. Don't get greedy. Patience is the key. So, what's a reasonable staking strategy? Well, you should stick with the staking strategy you are comfortable with. You might be comfortable with a different one than I'm going to tell you, but I'll tell you, normally stake should be within the range of 2 to 5% of your bankroll. And it also depends on what returns you want. So that's a given. You can't stake pennies if you want pounds as your returns. But see later. I'll talk to you in more detail about that. And on days when you lose, accept it. Losses of 10% are retrievable. What returns are you looking for? Are you looking, as I say, for just a few quid at the end of the month that you can go out for dinner with your girlfriend, or your boyfriend, or your husband, or your wife? Or are you looking for, a few hundred quid that will help you pay the rent or something else? So what is the returns you're looking for, and the returns you get will depend on your strategy. You must know your win success rate. You must know that. You must document it. So therefore, do not embark on a trading career of any sort, whether that's part-time, limited time, or, God forbid, full-time, if you haven't got a clear view, documented view of how many times you win doing what you do. How much time have you got, and how many trades will you do each day? It's very, very important. And do the test of reasonableness. Some people will tell you can make £3,000, £300, I don't know, thousands of pounds per month, per week, per day, for half an hour of your time. Unfortunately, they are talking complete bollocks. And the test of reasonableness is this. How much time can you afford? So if you could afford half an hour a day, okay, how much could you earn doing half an hour's work a day? How much would you get paid? How much would you expect to get paid? Right. The test of reasonableness is if you are looking for returns of about that, or maybe slightly more, you're okay. If you're looking for less, why the hell are you doing it? Why aren't you out working? And if you're looking to get 10 times as much as you normally earn, or 20 times as much as you normally earn, it's pie in the sky, okay? That's the test of reasonableness you need to put to say, what sort of returns am I looking for? If you're trying to pay yourself 20 times your current wage out of trading and you don't know very much about it, then I'm sorry, you're deluded. So I'm now going to show you an example. This is our newsletter, which we send out pretty much every day. Sometimes I'm on holiday, sometimes I don't send it out, I'm doing other things, but basically it goes out most days. And this is an example of my results for May. So I sent this out to the crew who sign up. By the way, it's free. You can get it on insidetracks.co.uk. Just sign up. It's free. So the total selections I gave in May were 71. And you can see that I do naps, back to lays, false favourites, and place value. Now, there are different win ratios here. Place value, for instance, pays slightly more because I tend to give quite high high odds. So in fact, at 62% success rate is okay because the returns are slightly higher. False favourites, I tend to go for false favourites who are evens or lower. Sometimes I do sort of 6-4, even up to 2-1. But a 78% success rate is okay. My speciality is back to lays, and you can see 17 winners out of 20 selections for May, 85% success rate. I tend to recommend a return on investment for each back to lay of about 33% to 50%. So an 85% return win rate is fine. And nap winners, I had 14 out of 19, 74%. Some of them can be very low odds, but I tend to go for the number of winners rather than trying to give you a 33-1 nap winner, which never turns up. So you can see I document. I have this for June, July, August, etc. So you can see this, and you can see my results, and I keep them documented. Now let's just take the back to lay situation. There's an 85% success rate. So I'll just now show you how to use that. So here's our back to lay trading strategy spreadsheet that I've developed. So our bankroll is the minimum, £500. Okay, so our minimum stake is 2% of that, 10, and our maximum stake is 25. Return per trade, I've told you, back to lay, I tend to go for 33%, 50%. My chance of success for 33% tends to be about 90. For 50% tends to be about 80, so the overall is about 85. So I'm putting 90 in there. Number of trades per day, 2. Therefore, the return per day we should look for is about £16.50. The returns per week is about £82. However, I'm going to make some losses. 10% of my selections are not going to come off, and I'm going to lose my full stake, and therefore I'm going to lose £25 per week as a result. So my profit is £57.50 per week. Okay, so I can look to try and make on my strategy, knowing what I've got. I've got a bankroll. I can change that, change the bankroll. I can change the minimum. Therefore, I could go 1,000. Yeah. Okay, and that will just change the spreadsheet. I can change the percentage chance of return, 50, but then my chances of success will go down to 80. So again, you can see it changes. And I can muck about with this. Sometimes I want to do 3 trades a day. Sometimes I want to do 1 trade a day. Some months my success rate might come down. So I can change all these things. However, what it does for me is it tells me clearly what I'm going to do. Okay, so I'm going to have £1,000 in my bankroll. I'm not going to trade anything more than £50 a time, £20 minimum. I'm looking for a return per trade of 50%. That's what I'm looking for. Now, you know, I can do 33%, but I can say 50%. I know my chance of success, and therefore I should understand what my return on my profit per week should be. And on £1,000, using the numbers, which are proven, I should be making £150 per week, which is about a 15% return on my bankroll per week, which then turns out to be nearly 60% return on my bankroll per month. Gives me about £600 profit per month. So if that's a way you want to work, if that's your approach, then be very clear. Don't muck these numbers around. Don't fantasize about your chance of success. Don't fantasize about your stakes. Be real and stick to it. Don't mess around. Don't start upping the stakes to £100 one time and then £10 the next. You will mess around with these numbers, okay? So that's what my back to late strategy is, and that's how I work it through, and that's what I follow. Now, some of you I know will you know, be quite attracted to the scalping as a strategy. It's certainly a reasonable one. It tends to be for me. I would suggest it tends to be for the more experienced. It tends to be those who want to invest in software to help them. But I do give you a view from my perspective of the sort of returns you could be looking for. So then what you need to do, again, if you're doing the scalping strategy, you need to be looking at your scalping success rate. And I do a whole video on how to increase the level of returns per scalp and reduce the amount of risk you take, so that we can actually then start talking about building up a history and saying, yes, when I scalp certain markets, this is my chance of success, this is my return, this is the stakes I'm at, these are the losses I should have, and then you can plug them in to your own spreadsheet or adapt my spreadsheet if you want. And you can then start saying exactly the same thing. What is my scalping strategy look like, and how much money do I bet on each trade, on each race, and also each trade, and what returns can I expect, and what success rate do I have? So that's really what you need to do for each of the strategies. Work out your success rate, work out what your return is, work out what your losses are, put them into a spreadsheet and say, right, does that make sense? Does that make sense in terms of the returns outweigh the chances of losses? And then if that is the case, you will make money long term. You might lose a bit one day, but you will make money long term. So I hope this video has been useful. I hope I've answered the question, what's the right size trading bank and bet size for you? Can I make money on a small bank? Yes, you can. You can make £300–400, I would have thought, if you are sensible and follow the rules. You can make somewhere around about 25 to 30% of your bank if you're very careful. I'm quite experienced. I'm making somewhere around about 50% of my bank per month, and that suits me. I don't spend all of my time doing this. It helps my financial situation. I'm only part-time. So I hope it helps you. I hope you can use the information to adapt what I've told you to your situation. But please, I will beg you one more time, do not treat trading as some kind of simple process that you just go in there and you make money on. It is hard work. You do need to develop a winning strategy. You do have to document it and be completely clear that you can be successful in the strategy you've chosen. And why are you successful? What's your edge? You need to be able to document that and say, this is the edge because I do this or that or the other. And then once you have done that and you have a track record, then start off relatively small. Make sure that that is then implementable to your satisfaction. And finally, if that is working for you and you've done all that, then consider yourself, you know, a proper person who can say, right, I can now start upping my bank and upping my stakes and looking for a bit more and a bit more. But don't go into this saying, I'm going to make huge amounts of money. And please follow the rules. Do not start chasing losses. Do not up your stakes. Do not go outside of your strategy. Those are very, very important rules. Okay, well, I'm just going to sign off just now. Good. Hope it's worked out for you, this video. Subscribe, please, if you like it, or you want more information. Subscribe to the channel, and you'll get the videos as they come out. Please do like it if you do like it. Give me some comments. Give me your experience today. Tell me what your pitfalls are. Tell me your successes. I'd love to know. Or just comment on something I've said if you think it's rubbish. And do go to insidetracks.co.uk. Pick up information off there, sign up for the newsletter, you know, take advantage of what's on offer. Okay, very best of luck, and I really, really hope it works well for you.